Hello everyone. Today we are doing National Policy on Education, 1986. Number 12. The removal of women's illiteracy and obstacles in inheriting their access to and retention in elementary education will receive overriding priority through provision of special support services, setting of time targets, and effective monitoring. Major emphasis will be laid on women's participation in vocational, technical, and professional education at different levels. The central focus in the scheduled caste educational development is the equalization with non-SC population at all stages and levels of education in all areas and in all the four dimensions: rural male, rural female, urban male, and urban female. The measures contemplated for this purpose include incentives to indigenous families to send their children to school regularly till they reach the age of 14. Pre-matric scholarship scheme for children of families engaged in occupation such as scavenging, flaying, and tanning to be made applicable from class 1 onwards. All children of such families, regardless of incomes, will be covered by this scheme and time-bound programs targeted on them will be undertaken. Constant microplanning and verification to ensure that the enrollment, retention, and successful completion of courses by SC/ST do not fail at any stage, and provisions of remedial courses to improve their prospects for further education and employment. Recruitment of teachers from scheduled castes, provision of facilities for SC students in students hostel at district headquarters according to a phased program, location of school building, balwadis and adult education center in such a way as to facilitate full participation of the scheduled caste, the utilization of Jawahar Rozgar Yojana resources so to as to make substantial educational facilities available to the scheduled caste, and the following measures will be taken urgently to bring the scheduled tribes on par with others. Priority will be accorded to opening primary schools in tribal areas. The construction of the school buildings will be undertaken in these areas on a priority basis under the normal funds for educational as well as under Jawahar Rozgar Yojana, tribal welfare schemes, etc. The socio-cultural milieu of the STs has its distinctive characteristics, including in many cases their own spoken languages. This underlying the need to develop the curricula and devise instructional materials in tribal languages at the initial stages, with arrangements for switching over to the regional language. Educated and promising scheduled tribe youths will be encouraged and trained to take up teaching in tribal areas. Residential schools, including ashram schools, will be established on a large scale. Incentives schemes will be formulated for the scheduled tribes, keeping in view their special needs and lifestyles. Scholarships for higher education will emphasize technical, professional, and paraprofessional courses. Special remedial courses and other programs to remove psychosocial impediments will be provided to improve their performance in various courses. Anganwadis, non-formal and adult education centers will be opened on priority basis in areas predominantly inhabited by the scheduled tribes. The curriculum at all stages of education will be designed to create an awareness of the rich cultural identity of the tribal people as also their enormous creative talent. Suitable incentives will be provided to all educationally backward sections of society, particularly in the rural areas, hill and desert districts, remote and inaccessible areas, and islands will be provided adequate institutional infrastructure. Some minority groups are educationally deprived or backward. Greater attention will be paid to the education of these groups in the interest of equality and social justice. This will naturally include constitutional guarantees given to them to establish and administer their own educational institution and protection to their languages and cultures. The objective should be to integrate the physically and mentally handicapped with the general community as equal partners to prepare them for normal growth and to enable them to face with courage and confidence. The following measures will be taken in this regard. Wherever it is feasible, the education of children with motor handicaps and other mild handicaps will be common with that of others. Special schools with hostels will be provided as far as possible at district headquarters. For the severely handicapped children, adequate arrangements will be made to give vocational training to the disabled. Teachers training programs will be reoriented in a particular for teachers of primary classes to deal with special difficulties of the handicapped children, and voluntary effort for the education of the disabled will be encouraged in every possible manner. The existing skills between the formal system of education and the country's rich and varied cultural traditions need to be bridged. The preoccupation with modern technologies cannot be allowed to sever our new generations from the roots in India's history and culture. Deculturalization, dehumanization, and alienation must be avoided at all costs. Education can and must bring about the fine synthesis between change-oriented technologies and the country's continuity of cultural tradition. Linkages will be established between the university system and institution of higher learning in art, archaeology, oriental studies, etc. Due attention will be paid to the specialized discipline of fine arts, museology, folklore, etc. Teaching, training, and research in these disciplines will be strengthened so as to replenish specialized manpower in them. The growing concern over the erosion of essential values and an increasing cynicism in society has brought to focus the need for readjustment in the curriculum in order to make education a forceful tool for the cultivation of social and moral values. In line with the commitment and augmenting resources of education, the allocation for education has over the years increased significantly. The plan outlay and education was rupees 151 crore in the first 5 years plan. The 11th 5-year plan 2007 to 12 is rupees 26,98,073 crore. The approved annual plan outlay 2009 to 10 is rupees 9,600 crore for higher education and rupees 26,800 crore for school education. The Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan SSA launched in 2001 is one of the major programs for universalization of elementary education. Its overall goals include universal access and retention, bridging gender and social category gaps in the elementary education. The Constitution 86th Amendment Act 2002 inserted Article 21A of the Constitution in the Constitution, which provides for free and compulsory education to all the children in the age group of 6 to 14 years as a fundamental right.